Welcome. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this Introduction to Docuseek2 webinar. This will be an overview of who we are, and then we will take a more in-depth tour of the site. So Docuseek2 is, of course, an academic streaming resource for social issue and documentary film. We were co-founded by Bullfrog Films and Icarus Films, and we also stream content from these other leading educational distributors whose logos you can see here. We currently stream over 800 titles, and we just finished up our third year. Here is an example of what the public view of our site would look like, and again, I'll take us through that in greater detail in a moment, but you can see we have top 10 films. Those are the top 10 films that were viewed across all Docuseek2 users, and those will appear on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll see those distributor logos again. Usually in the middle, we will have some updates about recently added films to the site, and we're always updating the public view of the page with other updates and widgets. Right, so streaming features, of course, there's 24/7 availability from on-campus or off. We authenticate by IP and proxy information that a school would provide to us. So you can have multiple viewers at the same time viewing the same content at the same time. There's no limit to that. There's obviously no physical media to track and no physical media that would break or scratch. And we've added on some specific benefits as well, including interactive transcripts. We have many films with that feature, and we're consistently looking to increase that number. You can embed the films in course pages and LibGuides, and you can also make clips. One thing to note, and this is something that I'll reiterate a couple times in this presentation, but some of these features you would need to be a registered user on the Docuseek2 site. Registration is completely free, and again, I'll show you how that would work, but that's how you would be able to take advantage of our clip making feature and some of our other on-site tools. So here are some more specific to Docuseek2 features we've added: flexible licensing options, high-quality encoding, variable bitrate delivery over a high-performance distributed content delivery network. There is support for desktop and mobile devices, so again, students and faculty can be on campus or off, viewing our films from their smartphones, tablets, laptops, or of course desktop computers. We provide the mark records for the titles that we stream. Again, those interactive transcripts and the clip making features. Detailed analytics, so those would be our comprehensive usage reports, and that's something else I'll tour you through when we get to the actual site. And also for registered users, we offer free preview clips that you can watch. And some of our newest features would be our built-in citation tool, our search widget that we would provide to schools that license with us, and playlists. Here are just some of the subject areas that we stream content in. We feel that we have a really well-rounded, broad collection. So anthropology, of course, is a big one. We've got content from Icarus Films and our other distributors and a variety of subtopics within anthropology. Lots of films on art and architecture, healthcare and nursing. One of our distributors, Fanlight Collection, has given us a lot of films in those topics. Films on philosophy, global and cultural studies, business and economics, sustainability and environmental studies probably are most often requested and, again, one of our biggest areas. Women's and gender studies, political science, criminal justice, psychology and mental health, religion and spirituality, and much more. So you can really see the variety of topics that we stream content in, and we feel that this lends our collection to being a really good fit for any kind of school, whether it's a big state school or if you're a liberal arts college looking for films in the humanities, or also community colleges might be interested in some of these areas. And promotional tools. So we also help you, once you've licensed with us at Docuseek2, we have a variety of options for you to take advantage of for marketing the Docuseek2 collection to your patrons. Again, those MARC records so that all the titles are searchable in your library catalog. Downloadable flyers that can be customized, whether on your end via Photoshop, or we can customize those for you. You can also run a search on Docuseek2 and email search results to your users. You can create and save custom searches. And again, those are some of those features I've been referring to where you do have to be a registered user to take advantage of. There's that search widget. Once again, we would provide that. It would go into a LibGuide or a streaming media page, and you can have your patrons run an easy keyword search from your library site and be taken straight to Docuseek2. And yeah, post-sales marketing by us. We are always happy to work with you and brainstorm and provide you with these materials and help with any outreach and other strategies. And if you ever need help with anything, we have our help wiki I will show you. We have email support, of course. You can always email us. We have these webinars here on our YouTube channel, or we can always personalize a webinar for you and your library colleagues. And also on our YouTube channel, you'll notice other video tutorials on these specific tools and features. All right, so now we can move to the site tour. So again, here's the public view of the Docuseek2 site. Looks pretty much like in the PowerPoint slide you saw. You've got those top 10 films of the week and everything else that I went through there. But one thing that we will do before I log into our test account would be showing you how to register. So the register button is always up there in the right-hand corner, upper right-hand corner. And we really like to emphasize that educating your patrons, your colleagues in the library, your faculty, and your students, encouraging them to register for themselves is a really great idea. They'll get access to all of those other features, clip making, sharing search results, the ability to create playlists. And if they're just going to Docuseek2 through a link or, through the library catalog, they would, of course, be able to watch the film, and it's not necessary for them to register, but they would really only be able to view the films and not take advantage of these helpful features. So to register, you just click that, and you would go through the prompts and the drop-down menus. There's the option for college/university, your country, your state, and so on. You would choose your institution, and again, just follow the prompts, and then you are registered. Takes just a couple seconds, and it's totally free and definitely worth doing. So now I will log into our test account. And the first thing we will do is go through what you will find on your account page up here, My Account. So you would be able to set the permissions for other registered users at your institution, particularly if you are the admin, the administrator for your institutional account. So you'll see down here, allow users to view license prices and allow users to license content. Typically, an admin for a school's account would want to uncheck those and save the selections. And then the other tabs up here, we've got order history, terms of use. You can always refer back to that. Any clips that you have made, so a student or a faculty member making clips for a presentation or for class or anything like that, their clips would always be saved in your account page. Any searches you've saved would be here. Cataloging, this is one place on the site where you can download MARC records, but again, we do provide those for you. And going back here to the reports page. So a standard usage report is just 30 days if you chose not to enter a date range. So I'm going to do that but of course you can enter any date range you'd like. And this is what our usage report right now would look like for you. And again, these are only available if you are the admin for your account. So if you have a student who registers, they won't be seeing anything like this. So to go through what these things mean, you'll have the title of a film on the left, the licensing term, impressions, which are defined as when someone has gone to the film's page on Docuseek2, maybe they read the description or some other information there, but they haven't actually clicked play on the viewer. Views are counted when someone does click play on the viewer and watches any amount of the film. And that's where these other metrics come in, such as time viewed, the percentage of the film that's been viewed across all of those views that have been counted, and engagement. And engagement is pretty much, how many of those views were engaging with the film a quarter of the way through, 50% of the way through, 75% of the way through, or 100%, which would mean that they watched the entire film. And if you ever need to refer back to these definitions, I'm just going to scroll down here. Those are always located right here at the bottom of your usage report. And the export button is to basically take all this data and put it into a handy Excel spreadsheet. So I have a sample of that open here. So again, this is a test account, so the numbers might be a little different for you once you license, but yeah, this is an easy way of sharing a usage report with your colleagues for renewal purposes or just discussing what films have been viewed at your institution. Okay, so that's pretty much everything in the My Account page. Now I'm going to go to this other link, My Movies. So this is where you can access the films that you've licensed, of course. There are a couple of different ways of getting to a film on Docuseek2. So when you go to My Movies, you can click View. We'll do that for this film here. And this just opens it up in its own sort of viewer without any of the metadata that we offer. And if you were here, you would be able to get to the link to /embed. I'm just going to go back just to show you that you can also get that from this page. So any film that you're looking at, you can click that. And this is where you get the information to embed the film into a course guide and also get the permanent link. And this is really great for, sharing a film with a faculty member. We understand that some faculty members might still be new to streaming or not know who Docuseek2 is, but this is a great way of getting them just a permanent link to a film that they might wish to use for a class. The other thing you can do is click the actual film title, and that brings it up in the page with all of the other metadata. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see the information such as the distributor, the length, whether it has closed captioning, and whether it has an interactive transcript. And then over here, you'll see a description of the film. You can see reviews of the film, including any awards it has won. You can see the credits. And this is where we have that built-in citation tool. So just to show you, we've got a bunch of really popular citation styles, APA, MLA, University of Chicago. So just to show you how that would work, if I wanted to use this film for a paper, if I were a student and my school has access to this, and I wanted to cite it in MLA, it gives you the inline reference, and it gives you the citation that you would use in a works cited page or a reference list. Okay, cataloging. So you can see some of our subject areas that the film fits into. Also, this is the other place on the site where you can get the mark record for a film. So I've opened that up just to show you what a typical mark record would look like for a Docuseek2 film. Any clips that have been made for a film would show up here, and this is also where you would make a clip, but I'll come back to that in a moment. So let me just go back to the film's viewer right here. This, of course, is Affluenza, a classic film from Bullfrog. It has that interactive transcript here. You can hide it if you'd like. You can also search it. It's really great for if a student is using a film, again, for a paper or project, and they need to find a specific part of it or quote a specific part of it. They can use that to search. I'm just going to turn the closed captions on and play a brief portion so that you can see kind of what this would look like. All right, so what you should be seeing is the interactive transcript. The words are highlighting as the film plays, so you can kind of follow along. And you'll see the closed captions are really clear. And yeah, so that's, again, an exciting, the transcript in particular is an exciting feature that we're adding to many of our films. All right. So since I have already mentioned clip making a little bit, I will show you how that would work. All right, so I'm pulling up now a classic Icarus Films title, A Boatload of Wild Irishmen. It's a film we like to use to demonstrate our clip-making functions. You'll see that it also has a closed caption and interactive transcript available. So I'm going to go to that clip tab again. You'll notice a lot of test clips, but also some clips from actual people at institutions who've licensed this film. They've made clips for it as well. So I'm going to click that Make a Clip button. And from here, it's pretty straightforward. You would play the film or scan to a specific part of the film. Again, you might want to use the interactive transcript to do that. And anywhere where you want the clip to start, you just click Start Clip. You'll notice the start time code has popped up in there. And I'll scan a little forward, continue playing the film, and I'll click Stop Clip. Same thing, Stop Clip time code is gone right there. You would obviously name the clip. You can add a description, any tags that you would like, and you would be able to set the permissions for the clip. So whether you'd want to keep it private and have it just show up in your Clips tab, as again I showed you as a registered user, you'd have a Clips tab in your account. You can also share it with other people from your institution, or you can make it totally public to any other schools who have access to the same film. They would have access to that clip. And then you would click Save Clip, and it would appear in this list. And segueing from there, I'd like to go over our playlist feature just a little bit, because as you can see here, we have this plus sign symbol that says Add to Playlist. So you can add a full film to a playlist. You can also add clips, and you can add films that you have not yet licensed. So that's really a great thing for if you are a librarian considering a film to add to your Docuseek2 streaming collection at a later date, or if you're a professor and maybe you're making a kind of wish list to keep track of films that you might want to request a license later. So there are many reasons for doing that and for making a playlist in general. So some other motivations for playlists would be to keep track of favorite films, films that you would like to investigate later for viewing or for using in a class. Sometimes faculty like to assign a set of films to students. And yeah, we really consider playlists to be like user-curated collections. So beyond the clip listing, there are a few other locations where you can get to the Add to Playlist button. So one thing, just going back to the home page, would be a set of search results. So I'm going to go more into our various search functions in a minute, but just dropping down into our subject tree here, if I click philosophy, you'll notice there are two boxes here. The bolded gray box on the far right means I have licensed the film and that I can watch it. You'll notice this Icarus film, Agent Orange, is faded, so that means I have not licensed it yet. And to the left of that icon will always be this Add to Playlist button, again, regardless of if you have licensed the film or not. So if I were to click that, you'll see that I can create a new playlist, or as a registered user, I have already created a test playlist that I can add it to. So any playlists that you have already created in the past, those would come up in this drop-down. But yeah, you would name it, add a description, any tags, and again, you would decide the permissions, whether you want to keep it as a playlist just for yourself, or playlist for your institution, or a public playlist to, again, all other institutions. And you can select this thumbnail for the playlist image and enter any further comments that you'd like to appear with the playlist. And just one other place where you can find the Add to Playlist button would be on the films page again. So you might have noticed that already when we were on the Affluenza page, but that will always come up right here above the films player, Add to Playlist. And this same sort of box will show up with all of those selection options. And because we do consider playlists to be user-curated collections, to access playlists once you are logged in, those would come up under the Collections button here, under Playlists. And I'm just going to click on one of these. Let's just say we'll do the test playlist. Yeah, so this is a good example, again, because I myself have created this in the past. But you would click the playlist. All playlists are assigned a link. So if I'm, again, a faculty member or librarian and I'd like to share a playlist with other people at my institution, I would share the institution URL you'll see here. And this is also where I can continue to edit those permissions and things like that. I just wanted to also go over some of these icons. Again, the bolded gray means I can watch this, and these are just films in the playlist that I haven't licensed yet. I can delete something from a playlist by clicking this red X. I can change the thumbnail of the playlist using this button. And if I wanted to edit any of the comments, I would use that button. So just going back to playlists, here's one that we've put together for Earth Day. So I didn't create this playlist, so I don't have all of those options, but you'll see, again, the institution URL and everything like that. So yeah, since I had touched upon searching, I'll do that next. You saw our subject tree here. You can click any of these as I had done, but you can also click these little arrows to the left of any of our subject areas, and that drops down into subtopics. Some of these even have little arrows that you can click for subtopics. And this is really great for subject specialists who are looking to get really specific about searching for a film, or anyone that's, trying to get really specific in what they're looking for on Docuseek2. Something you can also do is, of course, a keyword search or an advanced search. So our advanced search functions look like this. It basically just opens up more criteria that you can search by: the genre of documentary, whether it has any awards, the language, when it was added to Docuseek2, whether it has closed captioning, subtitles, etc. Some more ways of searching. You can look at new releases. You can search by titles A to Z. And you can go to collections. So here we've got distributor collections, thematic collections, some series, including the Capitalism series from Icarus Films, or Standing on Sacred Ground from Bullfrog. Those kinds of series would be under that tab. The thematic collections are another great way of searching for content in specific subjects, or these can also be licensed. And I'll touch a little bit more upon our distributors in just a second, but I do want to just show you Let's go to environment. So this is a set of search results. I did it by going to the subject tree, but really whether you do an advanced search or a keyword search, this is what your search results would look like. And the reason I pulled up this page is to show you that you can add an entire set of search results to a playlist, first of all, and you can email search results. That's something I have referred to a couple of times, and again, it's really great for sharing with faculty members some permanent links to films that they can then just go into straight from the email. So if I were to do that, you'd put the email addresses in. They have to be from your same domain. You can alter the subject heading, and you can alter the message. So I'm not going to actually send a test email, but the body of the email will pretty much look like what you're looking at right now. It'll have a thumbnail image from the film. It'll have all of the information, distributor, year, length, the title, and that title will function as the permanent link to get to the film on Docuseek2, and of course the short blurb about it. So yeah, that's again a really handy tool we recommend using. You can also see we have a tweet and a Facebook share button. So you can also do this to clubs and organizations on campus. We have public performance rights for all of our films. So it's another great way of sharing a set of films on Docuseek2 via social media. All right, going back to the collections page, just so I can go through our distributors a little bit, we do have another webinar on our YouTube channel that goes even more in depth on our content, but just to go through our distributors briefly, Icarus Films, of course, one of our co-founders. We stream parts 1 and 2 of Battle of Chile, as well as their groundbreaking sociological series Middletown, and a lot more recent bestsellers like Gringo Trails and classic essential films like Life and Times of Sarah Bartman, and also, again, that Capitalism 6-part series that is very engaging and is often requested. So yeah, really important social issue films that are already included in physical media formats at collections in college and university libraries. And then Bullfrog Films, we of course stream some of their classic essential titles like A Fierce Green Fire and King Corn. I already mentioned Standing on Sacred Ground, and a lot of other really great important films about the environment and sustainability, and also, you know, global and cultural issues, particularly in those kinds of areas. We have Degenerate Collection, which is independent cinema from mainland China. And those films feature a unique personal view of life today in the world's second largest economy and most populous country. So yeah, really important films about Chinese culture and history come from them. We have the Fanlight Collection. I mentioned them. They've given us a lot of really essential titles on health and healthcare, including Worlds Apart, about cross-cultural healthcare, and nursing films like Code Gray. We also have Terra Nova Collection, and that's an important source of films on issues dealing with age and aging. We have Cartemquin Films. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. In 2016, they're a Chicago-based leader in documentary filmmaking, and we have a lot of their classic titles on American labor made from the 60s through the 80s. We, as of just summer of 2015, added on over 50 titles from National Film Board of Canada, including many classics that enrich our history, women and gender studies, environmental and indigenous studies subject areas. We also have a selection of their renowned animated films. And last but not least, we carry a few films from distributors from the UK and Europe, and those distributors are Outlook and Scorpion TV. Their documentaries really run the gamut of subject areas covered. They're not available on DVD, so we're particularly excited to provide their films to higher education audiences in North America. And again, definitely check out our All About Content webinar for more information on our films. All right, so now I'm just going to log out of our test account, show you a couple more quick things. One thing is that we can actually edit your home page or your landing page for your users. So here's an example from UNC Chapel Hill. They have our entire collection, and what they've decided to do is have a page that looks very much like the public page you saw, but it has some additional tips in the middle for for their patrons to really understand how to find content on Docuseek2 and how to make the most of the site. And one other option that you would have is to do what Duke University has done. Again, they have our entire collection, and they have their library site set up in such a way where a patron would be taken to this page on Docuseek2. This is the advanced search page that you saw earlier. They felt that that was the easiest way for allowing their patrons to, really explore Docuseek2. Of course, if you wish to license a lesser amount of titles than the full collection, there are options for getting your patrons to just get to the handful of films that are available to them to avoid, confusion or being overwhelmed by the public view of the site. So here's a school that has just about 10 titles, and again, they felt that this was really the easiest way of getting their patrons to get to Docuseek2 and understand what's available to them. And beyond that, I'll show you just a couple of those resources that we have on the site that I referred to, including our Help Wiki. You can always find that right here where it says Help. This is what our Help Wiki looks like. And you'll notice on the right-hand side of the page, you'll have all of these different options to choose from. So if you have specific questions, this is where you would go to read more about whatever issues or questions that you have. And then also, you'll notice we have this promo link in the same area of the site. So again, we're really interested in helping you market Docuseek2, so we have some resources here, including those customizable flyers, postcards that we can customize. And when I say customize, I mean we can add the URL to your landing page or your proxy link to Docuseek2 or the link to a LibGuide on streaming media, really anything that you would like, and also the logo for your school or for your library. And we can do that for the flyers or the postcards. We've also got some promotional tips from other institutions and site tools. So again, that kind of refers to our YouTube channel and Help Wiki. And we're hoping to add some more features for promoting Docuseek2 to this site in the very near future. And beyond that, again, I encourage you to follow us on social media. Check out our other webinars for more information on using Docuseek2 on our YouTube channel. And here's some contact information if you have any questions or if you'd like to take advantage of a free 30-day trial. Thank you again for tuning in.